Hey everybody, Joseph Simon Bumlin Acres. I hope y'all are doing well. Um, I was thinking a lot recently about, when we launched a channel, and we had my motivations for launching it were because I wanted to document our journey, hopefully, and inspire others as they go through this homesteading experience. And it's really kind of been thinking today about what kind of channel we are. We're obviously not a DIY channel. We're not. I hope you do not watch this at this present time with the idea that, oh, if I need, Joe's doing this, so this is what homesteaders do. This isn't quite the right channel for that. I am learning this as I come along, and there's a lot of great channels out there. Roots and Refuge, we spend a lot of time watching them. There's just a number of them I can't think off the top of my head, so forgive me. It's kind of one of our favorites, and I like to talk a lot of trash to Jeremiah, one Marine to another. About Jeremiah, I actually haven't met him yet. I'm looking forward to the Homesteaders of America's conference so I can. And me and Single Dad Homestead can just talk all the Marine trash as possible. But back to my main point. We were talking about, what kind of channel are we? What do I hope you get out of as a subscriber and as someone who watches our posts? And to me, it's about, I hope I can inspire and, be a model of hopefulness. This is all new. I am literally learning this as I go along. I'm looking up, I just finished putting the sheet metal roof on our chicken tractor. And I don't do videos while I'm working on something. A couple reasons. I'm using my phone, so this is not the best medium for taking pictures, and I'm not that tech savvy. We hope to be upgrading and get another phone or another camera that will allow us to do that. But even then, we aren't at that place. Watching me work on something, this putting a couple pieces of sheet metal on the roof took a lot longer than I would hope it would take. It'll take in the future. It will not take this long because we've done it. This is the first time I've ever cut sheet metal, first time I've ever tried to put it on. I've made some mistakes in it. It doesn't look great, but it serves its purpose. It's covering my meat birds. So that's the point. And if you were looking for Joe and Bumblin' Acres, this is what they're doing, we should do this, I would caution you to keep looking at other, to model what we've done. And almost more of a philosophical approach to homesteading is really where I find my nest and where I am at. I believe anybody can homestead. I believe we all should strive upon which, for sustainability purposes and for just living your own life, to homestead, to take care of yourself at its greatest level. You will understand so much more. You will learn so much more. What is life? What is nature? What is our role in it? We are an apex predator, but we're so much more than that. We're at the top of our food chain, but that's not really our role on the homestead. We are creating an environment upon which where we care for our animals and our gardens and our things around us and our local community, and out of that care, support for us grows. We take care of our food and it becomes our food, literally, but we tend it, we care for it, we make sure that it's safe. That's our responsibility. That's not a apex predator thing. That is a stewardship. It's very hard to talk about homesteading and not get into matters of spirituality. I actually strive to not do that. Not that I do have my beliefs and they're important to me, but I don't want to become like a evangelical recruitment video. My beliefs are my personal ones, and you have to have faith to do this, because it is an act of faith to feed something that will not benefit you later. To care for something for a future benefit is an act of faith. We don't look at it that way because we're so separated from the fact that we just go to a magic building that our food comes from, and it doesn't have a connection to it. And faith is about connection. Faith is about belief. So, off my soapbox there. But I really just wanted to talk about the fact that I hope why you should subscribe to us, why you should like our videos, why I hope you watch them, is the same reason I watch them. I watch them to gain, this lifestyle is very, very tough. It's very hard. You're going to run into a lot of challenges. You're going to run into a lot of blessings, and then the fulfillment of that blessing is a lot of work. And it's very easy to lose your sense of self. It's very easy to lose heart in where you are. It's very easy to lose track of what's happening around you. And that's really, in the society we are in, it is a very check-in-the-box society. I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I gain fulfillment from the completion of those tasks, where homesteading is about the journey. Obviously, there's a lot of tasks that we do, and we complete, and we get our connection from that. But there's a much larger thing you have to learn from homesteading, which is the joy of the journey. And the journey is the joy of the journey. The journey fulfills you. The journey is where you find your fulfillment and your happiness from. So, if you're watching our channel as a DIY of how to build a meat tractor, I'll tell you a couple lessons I learned. I made mine really big in the beginning because I want it to be a secondary hen house at some point. That's what this one's going to be probably next year. And I will do the more traditional, smaller tractors. We picked ours to be relatively smaller because while we do have a large yard, we're on 4 acres, so we don't have a ton of room. I wanted to be able to regulate the amount of chickens we would have to butcher at one time. So eventually my goal will be to be running 2 of the smaller meat bird machines. They're 8 feet by 4 feet. We'll hold between 15 and 16 birds comfortably at that point. Have 2 of those running at the beginning of the meat bird season. So that we'll basically have between 32 and 40 chickens come up for butchering when they're ready, and then 2 weeks later we'll have 40 more, 2 weeks later. So we're staggering the amount of the butchering process. That may come back to bite us in the rear end. That may come back to say next year, now we should just done it all at once. I don't know. Still learning as I come along. I've never butchered chicken before, so that's going to be interesting when we get to that place. But that was our logic behind these smaller chicken tractors, and it makes them a little bit easier to move around. I just have a chain that I attach to it. I put nodules into this so that they go through, and I just hook my chain to those through some clips, pull it into places that I want, and it's easy enough to do with one person. You don't need 2. You don't need any kind of apparatus or anything else. You don't need to hook it to a machine. You just hook it, manpower, and pull. So that was my motivation there. Covered it with sheet metal today to help with the weather. We just had some storms come through, and I'm hoping I have been able to put enough screws into this where it will not just come flinging off in the storm. We'll see, and we'll cross that bridge. I had a tarp that was over it before because I originally, rather than have this metal sheeting, I just had chicken wire on top, and I had put this tarp over it and latched it down. However, rain collected, water was too much for the what we had put for the staples that were holding the chicken wire, and it broke. So, looking backwards, should have done this at that time. There were a couple other limitations that were coming on. Like, I'd never cut sheet metal before, and I had to get the right tools to do so. Not a complicated endeavor. It actually, you can do it with a jigsaw and a metal cutter. Blade went really smoothly, but once again, things you learn. So that's what this whole process is for us, is things you'll learn. We're learning every day, what's the best way to do something. We introduced a new chicken to the flock. When we were in the process of getting a roosting hen house thing from someone who was selling it for free. We went and picked it up. They had an extra chicken. We got the chicken. She's the prettiest little female. I don't know where she is because she's not accepted by the flock. They're just pecking the crap out of her. Our guinea hens, our ducks, everything. It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch nature because nature isn't always pretty and nice. Like, we have this idea that Mother Nature is a sweet, wonderful thing, and Mother Nature can be very cruel. And it's tough to watch a creature just be so ostracized. Part of being a homestead. So anyway, it's our garden, actually, our little garden, and then you see our bigger garden that's being set up, and then you see all of our giant piles of wood chips behind us that will eventually expand this garden out, where that bed will be 2 or 3 times its size, and that will be our future garden space. So we've got so many incredible things all going at once. It's easy to lose track, and that's why you have to have faith and hope, and that's what a homestead's really running on, is faith and hope. So, my thoughts. Have a great day. Bye.